Tēnā koe, ko Pane Kawhia taku ingoa, ko Hikurangi te maunga, ko Waiapu te awa, ko Ngāti Porou te iwi. Greetings, my name is Pane Kawhia, my mountain is Hikurangi, my river is the Waiapu, and I'm from the tribe of Ngāti Porou. And we are sitting here today on our family farm on my mother's side, which is the Walker farm, and it's called Tutumatai Station. And I live here with my 94-year-old mother, who I am also caring for. And this is the family homestead. I live and I work and minister here as an Anglican priest. And so am involved in the community in terms of conducting funerals, blessings, christenings, weddings, and other occasions that arise from time to time. I also take local services for the few faithful that still want to come to church. Yeah, and then there are many other things that I get involved with outside of Ruatoria, around New Zealand and overseas as well, but most of the time I'm based right here. Well, we're in the tribal land of Ngāti Porou, which is the people who all descend from Porourangi, who's our eponymous ancestor. And so as such we belong to this tribe, and there are about 76,000 Ngāti Porou, but very few, the minority live here. Most live away. So those are my roots on my father's side. He is a Kawhia, his mother was a ngata, and on my mother's side she was a walker, and her mother was a milner. And so we have English and Scottish roots, and then on the other side we have our Māori roots. We can, no matter where we go in the world, this is home, and we come back to this place where we belong. You probably would have heard that the gospel was brought here by one of our own, a man called Piripi Taumata Akura, who was taken captive by the northern tribe of Ngāpuhi, eventually got his freedom, and along with others returned to Ngāti Porou with this message. And my great-great-great-grandfather, Ruatoria Kawhia, heard that message and responded to it. And he became a teacher of the scriptures, and was also the first Ngāti Porou to be ordained as a deacon and then a minister by Bishop William Williams. So that's my connection to the history of the gospel coming here. I grew up learning all of our tribal songs, tribal haka, tribal or women's haka, all of those things. So they become very much part and parcel of who you are. In terms of the mountain Hikurangi, it's a form of identification. So if I am, whenever I introduce myself and I say ko Hikurangi te maunga, Hikurangi is my mountain, people will immediately know where I am from. That I'm from the East Cape, from the East Coast, and they will also know the rest of the pepeha, that the Waiapu is the river and that the tribe is Ngāti Porou. So it's a way of identifying myself, and it's very special to me because I grew up seeing it every day, or almost every day, along with 4 other beautiful mountains, but Hikurangi is the largest one. Otherwise, it is just a mountain to me. You know, the scriptures say heaven and earth will pass away at some stage, but the word of God never passes away. But I do often reflect on the place of the mountains when I read scriptures like, I lift my eyes up to the mountains, where does my help come from? And I've always loved the grandness, the grandeur of mountains. I love mountains and rivers and lakes and plains and that. I love New Zealand, Aotearoa. And in becoming a Christian and reading scriptures like, the character of God or the nature of God is reflected in creation. And when I think of those special places that I grew up in, those special landmarks, it causes me to consider God's character. And so the beauty of the mountains, the grandeur of them, the majesty of them, the strength of them, the sense of permanence, which I used to think of even becoming a committed Christian, these things reinforce those things about the character of God to me. So that is how creation, I love the environment, but they help point me to the one who created it all. If this is so beautiful, if these things are so beautiful, how much more beautiful and great is the one who created them. So that's how they're special to me. Where I live is a remote area of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and so we don't have access to a lot of Christian events. We have to go to Gisborne or Auckland or other places to see visiting speakers or hear visiting speakers, or to experience being part of a larger fellowship or environment where there's enthusiastic worship and what have you, you know what I mean? But, and so a channel like Shine and a radio station like Rima helps keep people in these isolated areas in touch with what's happening in the rest of the Christian world, and helps to keep us in touch with international speakers or teachers of the Word, bringing fresh perspectives on the Word, being provoked by how other people's perspectives of the Word. Sometimes we may not always agree with some, but most of the time we do, or I do. But just being provoked in our faith and encouraged and strengthened is really important.